And now we're on the dragon. So dragon male compatibilities, the 144 compatibilities. So dragon male with all 12 female signs. Dragon male plus rat female. The dragon will find his rat wife's loyalty and optimism endearing. She will follow her hero to the ends of the earth. He is monogamous while she is thrifty and resourceful. Therefore, while he could make a lot of money and then lose it, she will likely have stored some of it away for a rainy day. She is talkative and lively, but always amenable to letting him play the boss. This will be a fruitful and lasting union. That sounds like a pretty good match. Dragon male and ox female. Both signs are dutiful but stubborn. The latter factor could make or break the marriage. He works for glory and recognition, while she wants to see material benefits. If his ventures do not result in hard cash, she can be harsh and unsympathetic. He is dynamic and extroverted, while she may be too conforming and conservative. He needs love and admiration. She can be cold and undemonstrative. A good deal of compromise is needed here. But if both parties try hard and succeed, they will be immensely proud of and dedicated to each other. So that type of a dynamic sounds pretty difficult because if you think about it, the dynamics of fiery, outgoing, I want to be the leader dragon with a female that is more grounded, more practical, more like the nerd. I don't want to say nerd because I just want to say they're quiet, right? More of the manager type. They manage things and they'll tell you, like the bookkeeper. I guess that's another good one too. They're very grounded. They're very logical and they don't mess around, right? But they're not really ones to be completely out of control. They can't just go too crazy. They're very much just even keeled. So that's where the dynamic could be difficult because the dragon male would probably have the desire to be recognized. They want to be flattered. They want to be complimented for the things they do. And the ox female doesn't do that naturally. You know, she doesn't expect it. She doesn't care to have that. So therefore she doesn't offer that because that's not what she cares about. Right. And so it's just two different types of personalities. All right. Dragon male and tiger female. This is not a quiet, conventional, and uneventful marriage. Both partners are progressive, pioneering, and active. They could provide each other stimulating company, provided they understand their basic individual need for freedom and expression. The tiger wife may respect and adore her dragon spouse, but will never give up her identity. He will be in trouble if he tries to give her obedience training. Both are quick-tempered and will resist being dominated. If they can maintain a workable balance, they will enjoy an adventurous marriage. So that one, again, sounds like a power struggle type of dynamic. And, but I do think that it's not as difficult in this aspect because the dragon is the male here and the tiger is in the female position. So the tiger female will still be very upfront about, hey, don't push me around. Don't tell me what to do. You're not going to change me. I'm going to stay me. And don't think I'm going to just conform to your every whims, you know? But she's not going to be that way to such a point where she can't adapt and make some changes here and there. There's still a way to balance it out and have fun and not take it so seriously and not take things personally as much. But what they do have in common is being adventurous. They love to have a good time and they like, you know, like comedies and just having fun and laughing and just all that kind of stuff. So now moving on to dragon male and rabbit female. She needs his strength and daring while he relies on her competence and companionship. The dragon is forceful and outspoken. The rabbit is indulgent, but she's tactful. She will arrange an artistic and restful home for him, and she is adaptable but moody and defenseless. He serves as her warrior and protector. This will be a good marriage if they strive for their common welfare and do not allow petty or calculating concerns to interfere. So this type of dynamic, it's not like an amazing dynamic, but it's not a bad dynamic either. And what it sounds to me is this type of combination is more of a realistic combination, like more like, not, there's no like extreme fun, but there's no like really bad lows. It's kind of just like, what did it say? I lost the one point. It said, this will be a good marriage if they strive for their common welfare. So there's still effort that needs to be taken. That's what it points out, because they're still very different personalities. It's not, it's going to take some compromising and being able to adapt to the other's differences and handling things. But all in all, it sounds like it's good. But like it said at the very end, don't allow petty things, because I guess petty situations could pop up because of misunderstandings, and diving too deep into like the what ifs, and that could really interfere. So that's kind of how I take that. Yeah. So dragon male and dragon female. This will not be a very peaceful arrangement unless these two first agree on their goals. Both are individualistic, strong-willed, and aggressive, obviously. Mrs. Dragon will not like to be overshadowed. That's not surprising. In fact, she may be more assertive than even he is. The masterful Mr. Dragon expects to be in control. But in this situation, he may have to surrender some of his rights. Both partners would be wise to maintain their own careers to avoid suppressing the other. Very interesting. This is absolutely fascinating to me. And I'll tell you why it's fascinating to me. Because this is a dynamic with a dragon male and a dragon female. They're both very strong-willed. Very, very strong-willed. And just as much wanting to compete. This is definitely ultimate power struggle. Power struggles back and forth, competing for who is in control. But it says Mrs. Dragon, in this case, which is not as common, to be quite honest with you, but in this case, Mrs. Dragon will not like to be overshadowed. In fact, she may be even more assertive than even he is. The masterful Mr. Dragon expects to be in control, yes, naturally, but in all other situations, he expects to be in control. But in this particular situation, he may have to surrender some of his rights. He may actually have to back down. So that would take a lot for Mr. Dragon to do. That's a dynamic that is going to be very tricky, I think. It sounds like a very tricky dynamic to me. And that's why it says, it'd be wise to make sure both partners maintain their own careers, their own, selves throughout the whole process. Otherwise, it's just going to fall apart. Very interesting, though. Okay, so now dragon male plus snake female. A fulfilling and stimulating relationship will result if these two diverse personalities can adjust to each other. He is active, impulsive, and domineering. She is sensual, unhurried, and a lover of ease. He is always geared to work and success. She can impart to him some of her tenacity and common sense. She may have a finer business acumen than he does. At the very least, she will handle the family finances well. they can both build a sound foundation for their life together. So this dynamic sounds like two very different individuals, two very different energies. But I did not read anything that was opposing really that much. Like I didn't read much clashing in there. So this would be a dynamic that could um, be like of two very different individuals that work out anyways, because even though they're two different types of personalities outwardly, the way that they coexist together is functional and harmonious. So, yeah, because then the snake female, she doesn't mind. She actually prefers not to be the one that looks domineering. She likes to have her own time. She likes her alone time. So, because of that, it gives the dragon male his freedom, his abilities to do what he wants and lead the way he wants to without her wanting to be, all up in it all the time and trying to manage it because she wouldn't want that. So, dragon male plus horse female. The horse lady will be clever and resourceful enough to stretch whatever income Mr. Dragon brings home, but the serious-minded dragon may find her too restless and downright indifferent about a steady diet of housework. Okay, so in regards to the mundane chores, I guess. Life will be more fruitful and delightful for both if they live in the city, and Mrs. Horse keeps a job as well as manages the home. Actually, both parties perform better when provided with a variety of freedoms. The constantly aspiring dragon will find his wife's practicality very profitable, while she depends on him to be strong and reliable. So, again, another dynamic that works out pretty good. Nothing too bad here, but it does say that the dragon male might become a little annoyed at the way that the horse female isn't very much, they're not naturally the types to tend to the house and do mundane things. They don't like doing the routine mundane things. They're unpredictable. They're very much, they go with the wind and they do what they want. They're free spirits. They're very spontaneous. And so they're not going to be very consistent, right? But at the same time, they can enjoy that because they both have that within them. It's just the little annoyance factor that can get in the way. It's just the mundane things that need to be done. Dragon male and sheep female. This may not turn out to be such an appealing match, as they will live harmoniously only after much effort. He is adventurous and independent while she is ruled by her emotions and moods. She loves home and family, but he may not care to be so domesticated. She cries easily and she cries easily. I'm sorry. She cries easily and finds it hard to express the sympathy and gentleness she craves. Aw, that's sad though. No, he does. I'm sorry. I thought she. Let me reread that really quick. Just rewind. She cries easily, and he finds it hard to express the sympathy and gentleness that she craves because it's not natural to him. That is not the type of individual that the dragon male is, right? They don't, just different people. They don't understand it. It's foreign to them. It's not something that's important to them. So therefore, if it's not something that is important to them, they're not going to display that. Right? So he is ambitious and decisive, whereas she is artistic and intuitive. He is the knight in shining armor who will love helping a lady in distress, but not if she is going to make a habit of it. So that type of dynamic sounds to me that she wants to be coddled. She wants to be like the maiden that is constantly like loved up on, and the queen of cups, just really wanting to be like just she would probably love to be she would enjoy being love bombed, I guess is what I'm saying, even though that's not a good thing. So but yeah, that just makes for more victims, basically. But yeah, he's not going to want to do the same thing over and over again. It's like, okay, I I patted your back, and honey, are you okay? And yeah, and then it's like this like crying fest. And it's like, well, I don't want to be in this mopey energy. Like, I'm trying to be understanding, but you know, can we move on from that? Like, can we just continue? Because like then you're just like feeling uncomfortable. And I mean, there's no shade. I'm not trying to throw shade on the sheep at all whatsoever, because like rabbit sign actually gets along with the sheep very well. However, I'm not just the rabbit sign myself. But anyways, I can understand, from that vantage point. But at the same sense, it's like you have to get up and stop doing that, though. Like, we're not here to just wallow. I'm making this about me. Sorry. Okay, I'm just going to continue on. Okay, dragon male and monkey female. This is an ideal match romantically and mentally. He is drawn to her magnetism, and she admires his leadership. They are both ambitious and above average performers. They will shine together beautifully. Combined, these two will look like new worlds to explore and conquer. Both are socially inclined and will probably maintain a beautiful home and entertain a good deal. Well, that sounds good. That sounds like a good match. I don't see anything difficult there. So, dragon male and rooster female. This combination could achieve a great deal of togetherness, but they will have to smooth out some rough edges first. Her discriminating but at times callous remarks could often deflate his towering ego, because she's not afraid to call out shit. That's why. He is dynamic and full of energy, while she is efficient, economical, and critical. Both will be happier if they agree on what areas each should control. Intellectually, they are pretty much on equal levels, but they should not try to overpower one another with their accomplishments. So they could make this work, this dynamic of the rooster and the dragon, or the dragon male and rooster female, because I think the dragon would probably still appreciate the rooster's intelligence and bluntness and being very forward, because that shows, doing that and having that quality shows a air of confidence. It shows confidence, and it shows bravery a lot of the times, which can be alluring and attractive towards the dragon, because the dragon will also view it as like, oh, this is interesting, and also like low-key competition, which, when there's a little bit of competition, it's exciting and it's fun, right? Of course, it's when there's too much competition where it becomes bad. But it's actually very good to have that in like playful competition in something, and being able to measure on the same level of intellect, so that you can actually have conversations that both can learn from the other. Anyways, that's how I kind of dissect that in regards to how the dragon male and rooster female can work out. Dragon male and dog female. Many disputes will ensue because of the wide gap in this duo's basic temperaments. Both are aggressive and forceful, but in different ways. He loves freedom and will act independently, while she demands cooperation and unflagging loyalty. Subconsciously, each may be trying to attain the attributes of the other that he or she lacks. That's interesting. So subconsciously, they both desire to be able to be like the other, or acquire those traits that the other one displays because there's like an admiration there. However, they don't have the first idea of how to go about it. Both signs are proud and willful when challenged. Neither will want to give in easily or lose face. A great many adjustments are needed in order for this marriage to work, perhaps too many. So that one, I guess, sounds like a difficult dynamic. But it's interesting that it says on a subconscious level, though, even though there's so many struggles there, there is this underlying desire from both sides wishing to be able to display the qualities that the other one has because it's so foreign to them, but it's like too foreign to them. So it's hard for them to be able to emulate that same vibe, right? Dragon male and boar female. In this successful and stable union, the boar wife will always encourage and support her ambitious dragon mate. He is impulsive, while she is patient and enduring. He is a fighter, and she loves to be the peacemaker. There will be no trouble cooperating on the same goals. She will devote all her energy to whatever he undertakes. He can have the limelight so as long as he makes her feel needed. He is the daredevil, and she will uncomplainingly help him up every time he falls. Both will be intensely romantic. So that actually sounds like probably the best combo, especially with that ending. Both will be intensely romantic. I mean, who doesn't want that, right? Not all of us want to admit it, but anyways. But yeah, that's what that sounds like a fruitful one. That's what I have for the dragon. Peace out.